What is going on, y'all? We are here for another installment of a legitimate conversation. I am sitting here with the legendary, iconic, talented, by way of Mount Vernon, my good man, Jay Cartier, bro. What's up with you, brother?
What's going on?
How you feeling, man?
Feeling good.
This man drove all the way from Winston to Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Greensboro to Rocky Mount. About 2 hours.
Still about. But
that's a good little hop in the bop right there, though.
Little rainy, little misty.
Okay, so we're gonna show them the area, take them out to Mo and D's after this, get you some wings or something,
Sure.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
To get lit. So how are you feeling first and foremost?
Man, I'm feeling good. Feeling blessed per usual.
Yeah.
I'm good. No complaints.
What's your routine like in the morning? Like
man. I hit snooze about 2 or 3 times.
Absolutely.
If I'm being honest, I'm hitting snooze. The first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at the time like, fuck it. I hit snooze. Then eventually, as we got the ghost in the machine coming out, the elevator, that's nuts. So after that, I get up, brush my teeth, wash my face. By that time, the dog is looking at me like, yo.
What kind of dog
I
you
gotta
got?
pee. German Shepherd Lab.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay, so you out here running around like I am legend.
Nah, chill. Nah, but yeah, then he's looking at me like, I actually put his name in the song on Pricey. Riley, that's his name. My name's from the Boondocks.
Oh, wow.
Gotta do a little,
okay.
Little nigga respect.
Are you a fan of anime?
Honestly,
I feel like Boondocks is a gateway to anime.
It didn't work for me. I'm not a huge anime fan.
Right.
I also haven't done any like super deep dives, but I do have some friends that are into it.
Got you.
I'm more into like The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Like The Wire.
Oh, you be watching that.
Violent shit.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Scarface and shit. That's
Yeah. I like all that stuff. But yeah, so then I take the dog out. He's a menace. He just barks at people.
Yeah.
Then usually I start my morning off with like some sort of fruit smoothie, whatever. And then just whatever. If I'm not at work, then I figure out something to do productive.
Right.
I'm just now getting back into like my creative
zone after the project.
So,
because it's been a couple months now, so I'm glad we let it breathe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, had to let it sit down for a minute.
Everything's for sale.
Yeah.
I really like listening to the music. I can sort of see where the name comes from, but you, as a consumer, you only can know but so much. So like, I'm very curious to know where that title came from, where it derived from.
Honestly, if you ask anybody about me musically, I'm a Hov fan, right? So I don't know why.
Hov, like Jay-Z.
Hov, Jay-Z, yeah. The GOAT, some would say. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't know why, because this is not his most like profound bar. But the joint on Otis, where he was saying everything's for sale, I got 5 passports, I'm never going to jail. I don't know why, but ever since I heard that, I said, yo, it would be cool to put an album out that's called Everything's for Sale. I obviously put my own twist on it. So my twist basically is like, as an artist, especially in this time, you got to look at yourself as like a brand, a business to a degree. And so for me, I think I had the music part figured out early.
Right.
But then it's like, all right, once I figure out the business part, which I still don't think I have it fully figured out.
Right.
But as you're doing that, you can say, look, like, I'm open for business to a degree, right? Like I'm willing to, I'm confident enough to where I know what products I'm bringing to the table and I can do business, So that's kind of where that is. It's kind of like my introduction to like being like a business in music. Especially since like I own 90%, I own my own shit.
Right. What's the title of your LLC?
Power Play Multimedia.
Gotcha.
Which it might change, but that's what.
And that's the one that you was telling me about before this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you had that ever since. So you kind of like got a heads up on that. You were doing it in the high school?
Right after.
Wow. So how many years has it been?
Since I started making music?
Since the LLC and everything went into play?
4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is different between year 5 and year 1 in that regards? Nothing. Or in that regard? Nothing. Yeah. Still figuring it out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially because it's like we were talking about before, like music, streaming and stuff is not super lucrative at the moment.
Right.
So you're in the same tax bracket.
Right.
Unless I get a Drake feature tomorrow, then maybe
Right.
my tactics would be different. But other than that,
Yeah.
it's pretty routine.
So when did you, the Hove line inspired the title of the project, but when did you start working on it compared to it coming out this past January?
I would say right after I dropped, There Will Always Be Casualties, I knew that would be the name of my next album.
Right.
It was just a matter of putting it together. Like I had the same routine like with any project. I kind of live for a little bit. Right. Like I put the rapper on the back burner and just go outside and like do shit and live life to a degree.
Yeah.
And then at some point something inspires me and it clicks and then it's like, oh, I gotta write this down. And
what is that clip that inspires you?
I don't know. Sometimes, like I talk in phrases sometimes.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'll be with like my friends, whatever, doing some shit, and I'll say some shit, and I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of a bar. Like it's really that. It's really like some nerdy shit. But sometimes that'll inspire the first line of a song or whatever, and then like that's kind of it. It's very like natural. Like it's hard to explain. I do equate a lot of music stuff that I do to like basketball though. 'Cause I do hoop regularly.
Right.
And so anybody that's played any sport really, but especially basketball, if you've ever gotten in like a zone where you feel like you can't miss, like you are artist too, so you know exactly like you know exactly what that feeling is.
Yeah.
So it's like for example, on every song on Everything's for Sale, I felt like I was shooting and the shit was in the basket was just, you know what I mean? So try not to get distracted, but that's nuts. But but that's how it is. Like you feel like you get in that zone of like, yo, I can't miss.
Yeah.
And that's how some of this feels. Like Pricey, I wrote the first verse, but I made the beat kind of long.
Right.
Pause. And then I was like,
that wasn't a pause.
Fuck it.
That wasn't a pause.
Then I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna punch in on the second verse. So the second verse on Pricey, I punched in.
That was actually a question that I had, was keeping that second verse alive. JID has spoken about this. Like, what went into that thought process? Like, you know what? Fuck it. I got another one.
Bro, because honestly, I don't make music for these niggas. Like, I don't make music for like the TikTok era. Honestly, like I don't ever see myself coming up with a funny or cool, whatever, dance or anything like that.
Right.
So it's like, there'll be some songs that I hear, and to me, even if they're fire, they a minute and a half.
Right.
So it's like, yo, if you was rolling like that, like,
keep the ball rolling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why stop? Because, no one wants to hear. I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas want to hear.
True.
Like,
that's fair.
If I'm talking about, like, my music is like my expression. So at no point do I write a song and I go, nah, I'm gonna cut the second verse out because niggas don't want to hear two verses. Like, my thing is, if you're giving something like the first verse, to me, if you listen to the first verse of Pricey, which to me is my favorite song that I've done.
Yeah.
If you listen to the first verse of Pricey and you like, I don't want to hear what else he got to say, then it's not for you anyway.
Right.
So it's like whoever is for you in that aspect, they gonna find it.
Now you also said in Pricey that you're killing shit, but you still meditate. How often do you meditate?
Well, no, I mean I said when I'm killing shit, but every time I kill shit, it's premeditated.
Oh, premeditated, gotcha.
But that is still a good question because normally before, like when I'm trying to get creative, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I just kind of will sit there. Yeah. Like especially if it's a beat that I'm trying to catch a flow on or something like that, I will kind of just relax and just. I don't know if it's really considered meditation. Yeah. But yeah, like you kind of gotta decompress for a second, let all whatever was stressing you out, let that go, and then just go into it with a clear mind.
Yeah, lock in.
Yeah.
Who is Truey? Tell me about Truey.
Oh man. So he was kind of like my cousin to a degree. That's how I viewed him. Right. But he's my stepdad's nephew. I think it might be a little more complicated than that, but that's how he was introduced to me. So when my mom met my stepdad, I was still in high school. And so I think he had like a health scare. So my mom, we were going over there more often as their like relationship progressed. And it just so happened that my stepdad's sister lived up the street, and that's where he lived.
Right.
And so he came down the street, like we would be playing Grand Theft Auto, like, we was back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how that started.
Right.
And then what's crazy, I have like 2 or 3 on my old computer, if I could get it to work, of like unreleased verses from him.
Right.
He was like dipping and dabbling in the music as well.
Right. So what ultimately ended up happening to him?
Unfortunately, he passed away. I don't even know if I can really talk about the situation,
Right.
but it was unfortunate. It was something to do with the police as well. So
Gotcha.
I
Do you feel like you properly grieved that situation?
I don't feel like I ever properly grieved. I don't know. I don't know what the proper way is.
Yeah. That's actually a great way of looking at it. I think it starts from just coming to grips with the reality that that person is no longer there. Like,
it was
really embracing that.
It was fucked up. For me, what's fucked up is a lot of shit happened like prior to that. Like my Instagram got hacked, and he was like helping me like on his burner account, like trying to help me get this shit back. So ended up getting it back, and we talked. I want to say, I don't remember the exact date because all my DMs got deleted when I got my account. Most of my DMs at least got deleted when I got my account back. So most of my DMs with him were prior to that shit happening.
Right.
I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks before it happened. You crazy. I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks before that happened, like I would like reach out to him from time to time, even if we hadn't talked.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yo, you good? You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, I'm good, call me. So I called him. And I want to say we talked on FaceTime for like 2 hours.
Word.
Which is weird. Like this has happened before with other people that have unfortunately left like way too soon, where like my last conversation with them is just crazy. Like it's 2-3 hours and it feels like 5 minutes. But he was just talking to me about, and I mentioned it on All Business, I believe, like he was just talking about so many like ideas he had. And I'm not going to say the ideas because I don't want nobody to steal his ideas. So if I get in a position to make it happen, I would rather do it. But just so many business ideas, like shit that I didn't even think of. I was like, yo, and he's young. He was younger than me. Right. So yeah, just he got into some trouble before, but you could tell like his heart was usually in the right place, and he was just getting his shit together. Yeah.
How did that empower you to see this project through? And like you mentioned, the ideas, how did that empower you to still, like that last conversation? Because that's also a part of grief as well. Is how do you?
And then plus, like when I found out I was at work.
Yeah.
And then me, like I've never been like a quitter or give up or anything. So I was at work and my manager was like, yo, do you need to go? And I'm like, yo, like, nah, just let me finish and get the fuck out of here. But yeah, in terms of like grieving, like I ain't gonna lie, like I cried for a while. Wow. Like that day.
That is
sure.
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not ashamed to say that shit. Like that was my dog. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and the situation was fucked up. He didn't deserve it. So yeah, but I guess that's a proper way. It's a healthy way because you're not holding it in. But still, a part of it, like you said, is just kind of coming to terms with that situation.
That newfound reality.
Yeah, it's fucked up. But
on to more uplifting project. No Discounts. That's probably my favorite song on the project. I don't remember what I told you it was off the first listen.
I don't remember either.
But No Discounts is my favorite one. Now there's a beat switch that happens.
Yeah.
And that
boy,
I
oh
love
boy.
the beat switch. And you say, and quote, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not ready for the consequences, so don't diss me. That is what you said. Now, this is my first time being able to speak about this, but the Kendrick Lamar situation.
And this shit just happened, yo. It's like, yo, when this interview comes out, Kendrick just went crazy literally 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
And it is funny because it's a full circle thing because I literally I posted on my story, yo, this shit makes me want to really diss niggas. It really makes me want to. And mind you, I'm a Drake fan, I'm a Kendrick fan, I'm a Cole fan, I'm a Future fan.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily have any sides in it, but I love the competition. I love it. So that's what I mean. I'm not, and I never portray to be a street nigga or some super gang banging nigga. But when it comes to rapping, I treat all that like a sport, like competition.
Right.
So if you're gonna say something, say it. Cool.
Yeah.
Say it.
I mean, maybe you could take the Kendrick role and initiate it.
But bar for bar, it's tough.
Yeah.
You heard the project.
Right.
So bar for bar, look, once again, it's all love. But if any rapper ever has an issue with me and wants to put it on wax, it's tough.
Do you see yourself just throwing a fire out and doing that to someone?
Well, I mean, if you listen to this album, it's a lot of shots thrown.
That's what I would like to know. Are they aware? Do you think they're aware? Do they know?
I don't know and I don't care.
That's
but
fair.
if so, but if they do, it's been quiet afterwards. So.
Got you. Yeah.
So that says something.
Got you. Yeah.
That's cool.
No, I definitely want to. So, as far as the Kendrick situation, what do you think is going to happen next? That's the best question. I'm not going to say anything.
Me and two of my close friends had a conversation about this yesterday.
Yeah.
They are. I don't want to call them. I'm not going to call them Drake haters, but they think that Drake is third in the 1, 2, 3.
What does Drake mean to you? Speaking of that, briefly. Because I could hear it.
Certainly.
It's not like a split,
Certainly inspired by when he's in that rapping bag.
Yeah.
I'm certainly inspired by that.
Gotcha.
By that, Hove.
Yeah.
All of them. When they really get to putting the double entendres together, man, that's super.
But not to derail, but what were y'all saying?
Man, I was I literally said, if you take, because I know Drake has done the House album, he's done a lot of R&B inspired
Fire
stuff.
album, by the way.
Honestly, never mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might need to spin it again. It was not my favorite, only because of what he did on the end of that with Jimmy Cooks. I wanted an album of just like that.
Oh, got you.
I would personally, Drake, if this goes viral and you end up hearing it, I personally would love a timestamp style album from him.
Ooh.
Fuck it. It might not sell 500 first week.
Yeah.
But Do Not Disturb, when to say when, 5 p.m. in Toronto, that shit where you really just, he's going off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that.
I wonder if we'll get that. It'll be an EP.
Even if it's an EP. No auto-tune, nothing. Just go in there and
get out to some 40 beats.
Call 40 right now.
40 and all of
them. Drake, after what Kendrick did, you got to call 40 right now.
So you think you think Drake can defend himself versus Kendrick and be a formidable opponent?
Yeah.
What about Cole?
Absolutely. Right now, I wouldn't fuck with Cole.
I'm very, in 2015, I was a little bit worried when they did the Black Friday thing. But in 2024, I think Cole, I'm confident.
And Cole is super, he's about peace and all that, which is great. But to me, you put your arm out there, an olive branch almost, to Kendrick on first person shooter. Hey, yo, I know it's me and Drake doing this, but it's really us three. And Kendrick was fuck that. So to me, now you gotta
rank them 1 through 3 bar for bar.
Bar for bar?
Bar for bar.
Currently or body of work? Because body of work
in present time, today, not body of work, bar for bar. Well, if they had the exchange. Bar for bar.
Present time, I would just base off their last albums, right? So if I'm being objective, Drake didn't do a lot of rapping on For All the Dogs, right?
He did Scary Hours 3.
But that's an EP, right?
It's his recent project.
It is recent. I'm trying to be objective. I would say, because the off season was nuts.
Yeah, it was.
So
Especially on rap,
Cole
it was
right
about
now,
rap.
I think Cole right now, I mean, I think they're all number one, but if I had to go 1A, it would be Cole right now.
Yeah.
I would say Drake was rapping on part 2 of that.
Yeah.
So I would give him 1B. And just because Mr. Morales, for me, the replay value didn't like resonate with me. But he was talking this shit on there too.
My issue with Kendrick is Kendrick gets a beat like We Cry Together, and then he does something, like he makes it into something.
But like if Kendrick was in his like what he did on Mona Lisa, on the Carter 5, if he was like that all the time, it might not be a competition.
I think Duckworth is his best rap performance, for sure.
It's up
like rap, yeah, I think that's it right there.
I love that album. Damn. I love that album.
Yeah, Damn might be my favorite one,
I think
other than Section 80.
Album.
Yeah, for sure. Features, you only had 2 up there.
Yeah.
How does that selection process go for you?
Man, I'm friends with a lot of artists.
Yeah.
Right, and we do, and I'm sure you can relate as well. As artists, especially rappers, we do a lot of, I'm gonna send you some shit. And sometimes it don't happen. Like, there's been plenty of times where I'm like, I'm working on this. Oh, this homeboy would sound real good on this.
Yeah.
And then I finish the song, and I'm like, damn. Good thing I didn't, tell him he's on this one, right?
Right.
So that's how that happens, right? I will say, this album was going to have no features. It was gonna have none. My last one, I think, had 4. This was gonna have none. But I wanna say I'm halfway through with the album in terms of the songs that I liked. I was like, all right, cool. I got like 4 or 5.
Right.
Boom. Sean Going Digital, who was on like my previous single before I even started the project, really, he sends me that beat with his hook on it. He's like, yo, I don't have any use for this. Like,
Here.
So I loaded up. I think it was the same day I made In or Out as well. That's why they're close together, and that's why they kind of could sound similar in terms of what I'm talking about. Loaded up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm using this.
Yeah.
So that's the only beat I didn't like really have much to do with in terms of making. I did add some, but that's like the only beat that from the ground up I didn't have a say so.
And the young lady, she has a beautiful voice.
Dahlia Nicole.
Man.
Shout out to Dahlia Nicole, and shout out to Sean Going.
What she look like?
I'll put a gram up.
Let's see right now.
I'll put a gram up, but
I want the live reaction.
But hold on.
I want to see if my Spidey senses were true.
Yo, all right, come on, yo. You are a clown.
Shout out to her. I gotta get that interview, man. I just want to see if my Spidey senses is right. That's it.
Yo, my
So she had an amazing voice, y'all. She's on Problems.
But she is taken though. So relax.
I just want to,
cool.
honor God's creation. I ain't even.
Gotcha.
That type of time.
Heard you. Yeah, but she's fire. Her project is fire as well.
I knew it. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it, bro.
I think her EP is called "It's Not You, It's Me" or "It's Not Me, It's You."
No, she toxic.
And
that relationship ain't gonna last. I'm joking.
You are.
I'm joking.
Dahlia, shout out to you. Salute.
Shout out to you. You have a beautiful voice.
Shout out to you.
Speaking of Problems, though, that's the record she's on.
Yeah.
What's the craziest way a woman has spun the block on you?
Ah, man. We don't got that much time, do we?
Yeah.
Craziest way. Me. I know I have plenty of flaws. I'm not perfect. I'm not very emotional.
Yeah.
I'm very nonchalant. Even if I do care, it's hard for you to tell. But I will say, there was one time where, because I work a lot, right? So it was one girl, and she was like, "Oh, you're too busy for me, da 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 da," and I was like, rent's not free, right? So, right. And so I guess she ended up in a situation where whoever he is or was, shout out to him, bro had too much time on his hands and was bummy, You know what I mean? Always at the crib.
Yeah.
And didn't have no money. And then she was like, yo, like I'm dealing with this, da 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 da. And I said, well, you told me I was too busy for you. Like, you good. You got to stay over there.
Yeah. Dang. You told her that straight up?
Yeah.
Wow. Cutthroat.
I don't play with.
You a Libra though.
But here's the thing.
That's
like,
how y'all get down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing is I'm honest. I'm blunt, but I'd much rather you get my honesty than I'm sitting here fronting.
To avoid wasting time. Absolutely.
Of course.
I agree.
Time is money.
Yeah, I think
and everything's for sale.
Women put a lot of things in our ballpark because I don't want to say they're not capable. Let me not say that, but
shout out to all the ladies.
Their egos are way more fragile than ours for the most minuscule things. And just to see, like, the older I get, the more that they attempt to approach, because like the older we get, the more we kind of like yearn for like love in a sense or a situation. Yeah. So just to see the attempts, you know what I'm saying?
I've been approached way more in the last couple of years.
How old are you now?
26.
People don't tell you about after 25. They get hot out here.
And my beard, I can't grow a beard. I can't grow a beard for nothing. I feel like if I,
after 25, the women get very, very direct,
bold,
and intentional with their moves. Absolutely, and italicized, underlined, all that.
Salute, because and it's crazy because I don't think I have any game at all. Right, like I'm not gonna shoot a crazy like line at you in the DM, nothing like that. I'm just gonna shoot the eyes at you. That's because I'm more of a vibing person. So I don't, you know.
That's your go-to, shooting the eyes.
Yeah.
And what's the response that tells you this is a green light?
It varies.
I got you.
It varies.
I got you. Yeah.
You got to read the room, I guess.
Got you. Okay. The best bar on this project, in my opinion, is on Everything's for Sale. Because this was the song you sent me months ago. I think you sent me this in like December. It
was the last song I did on the project.
Wow. And he said, I'm deep in my bag like the fries at the bottom.
My nigga. Facts.
It's phenomenal bar.
Thank you.
How was finishing it out? And like clearly you were definitely in your bag. And like how was it delivering that? Like what did you do? Do you remember like how you felt after you wrote that?
To be honest with you, because obviously, like you and I, we met at Keeb's listening party.
Yes, shout out to Keeb Wise. Yes, sir.
Shout out to Keeb. That's my guy. But so I had like a smaller listening session, at the same spot. The day, that morning, literally, I made that beat and said like the first 3 lines on there. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, because you notice that's like the only song that doesn't have like a super defined structure.
Right.
I was kind of just playing around. And I was like, yo, fuck it. I'm going to name that'll be the title track. Because I didn't have a title track. And so my main goal to start was to keep the album between 8 to 10 songs.
Right.
So I couldn't really get rid of another one. So I was like, fuck it. Make it 11.
Cool. Right. Yeah. I want to say it was the outro, you mentioned that you don't like to force things because you believe in God's timing. How has God's timing worked in your favor? Or maybe something you wanted to happen instantly, but it didn't work that way. And then on the other side, you were able to see why it didn't work that way.
Ah, man, it's just, I don't know, bro. God has shown me so much. And then there's moments where I might be, and just in everyday life too, not just with music. There's moments where I've been, let's say I'm in a rush to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And somebody cut me off and they bugging. And I don't really have road rage, but I'll be like, stupid nigga, you know what I mean? Like you know, but I don't really let anything really get me off kilter. But somebody had cut me off. I'm already in a rush. And then I'll see they got pulled over because they was bugging, or they got in an accident or something like that. So normally, as humans, like we'll be real upset, like in the moment, like, oh man, they cut me off, this person, you know, it's something real simple, right? But then you can see that God is like protecting you from something else.
Right.
So whenever something happens, a delay or whatever, I don't trip because I feel like that's God's way of keeping me out the way of something way worse.
Yeah. That was a great way of putting that.
Yeah.
That was
So
really good.
that's how I view it because, like, and I can tell you plenty of stories off mic about just moments where in the moment I was frustrated because this wasn't happening or this didn't work or whatever, and then I saw why.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there was one time when my car didn't start. Real quick, one time my car didn't start. I was trying to go to the summer camp I worked at. Right.
Yeah.
Randomly, my car didn't start. Nothing's wrong with the shit. It's perfectly fine. The car wouldn't start. Right. An hour later, finds out that a tornado hit where I was going.
Right.
And if I had left, I would have been caught in there. Yeah, like there was trees down, like 10,000 trees came down, everything like that.
Oh my
so
God.
I could have, obviously it's possible that something could have happened to me, but I could have been stuck in between something, right? And it took like days for them to clear that shit out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so when I saw that, I was like,
good.
You're right.
Now there was a story you said you wanted to tell me. Did you tell me already?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Cool. So, black man to black man, what's some advice that you would give to myself for those that's watching this?
Musically or just in general?
In general, as a black man.
Just be yourself. I'm big on that. Like, you can hear it in my music. These days we hear I know a lot of rappers personally, that be talking a lot of shit in their music that I know they don't live. In terms of like street shit or whatever. Like as an artist, that is a very easy path to take because that seems to be what sells. But you don't always have to do what you think is gonna sell.
Right.
Like, I think it's important because, for example, let's say I'm to blow up tomorrow and I'm talking crazy and I'm talking about gang banging and selling whatever and shooting at niggas and all that. And then it comes time for the receipts to be shown of you being really from that life or whatever. And then there's nothing to be, like 6ix9ine. You know what I mean? Like there's no receipts, there's no proof of you actually like coming up from whatever you said you come up from. And then now you're in this spotlight and something happens and you got nothing to show for that. So it's like, nah, like no one can pull, and I say that on the project, no one can pull my card and be like I don't say, you know what I'm saying? I'm everything like in my music is true to me, my experiences, and my feelings on stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I am what I am.
I am what I am.
That's facts. Everything's for sale, man. Everything's for sale. You say you got a couple videos down pat. His brother just showed me a video that's legendary.
working.
What else you got going on? Did I miss anything?
What else I have going on? No, I'm gonna be starting the next project. So because like it's crazy. The day this album dropped, I like moved into my new spot. So
that's facts. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's why. That's one of the reasons why like this took so long. Like just unpacking, getting stuff together. But nah, nothing. I do at some point, I know we talked about this before, I do at some point, because like I said, I'm not, in terms of like content other than music, I'm not like I'm funny, but like I'm situationally funny. I don't think like I could write skits or be doing no TikTok dances. But I do think that it's possible that my content other than music could be like in like the podcasting space. I would like to try it.
Right.
Other than that, like me and one of my friends are in conversations about that. But
gotcha.
Even though like we have opinions and no one really asks for them, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
To like, cause we not, like famous or anything like that yet.
Right.
Depends on what you want.
Come
right?
on, manifestation.
But of course, still like, I think our opinions could be valuable in some of these things. You can look at it from a consumer perspective versus someone in the industry, or you know what I mean. You could be on the outside looking in and give that perspective. And yeah. Exactly,
man. Exactly.
That's one thing I would do.
I'm thinking, making sure we covered all bases. I think we did, man. This was a great interview. Shout out to the interruptions.
Of course. Salute.
Thank you so much, bro. This is Jay Cartier. This has been a legitimate conversation with your boy Aries. Until next time, stay black, y'all. Well, be who you are.
Yeah.